Hi, it's me again, and I'm going to talk about the bias in the BBC again because, the BBC can have their anti-bias stance on everything. So we're not biased this way, we're not biased that way. But the problem is, journalists and people who create the content that is forward-facing for the BBC can have their biases, and it can leak into what they do. You can't control people's thoughts, can you? So there's always going to be some bias in it, whether the culture at the BBC is anti-bias, whatever. The people who are producing the content, they're going to think how they think. There's not much you can do about it. And then that causes this situation, which is humiliating for the BBC, apparently. Let's have a look. BBC admits showing bias against Reclaim MP and issues humiliating apology. BBC apologising for something? Really? What could they possibly have to apologise? Oh, no, actually, yeah, they're quite used to apologising for stuff now, aren't they? BBC. So what's all this one about? Let's have a look. The BBC has issued a humiliating apology after it admitted that captions it put up during a debate on excess deaths in Britain were biased. The adjournment debate, called by Reclaim and former Tory MP Andrew Bridgen, was linked to concerns that have been rising about the impact of that word there. Throughout his speech, which Mr Bridgen has claimed was carefully researched, the BBC Parliament channel ran a series of captions purporting to correct what he was saying. After complaints were made, the BBC today issued a statement accepting they had acted in a biased way. So when I first read this, I skimmed it earlier, I thought they meant it was subtitles, and whoever was typing out the subtitles had knackered it and just typed whatever they wanted, which is what I would do if I worked in the subtitling section. But this is on BBC Parliament, so it's news reporting, basically. I mean, it's what you put on in the afternoon if you're old and you want to have a sleep, you put on BBC Parliament, don't you, if you pay your licence fee. But yeah, let's have a look at some of these captions then, because this is what BBC Parliament put up. There's loads of them here, and they're just trying to correct what he was saying. It was a busy debate, that, wasn't it? All three people in Parliament. Makes you laugh, doesn't it? Makes you laugh. Where are they all? Where are they all? All that money they claim they represent you. You hardly ever see them in there, in that building where they're supposed to be working, unless it's like PMQs on a Wednesday or something. Ridiculous. But yeah, it says here they've corrected a lot of it, so you can have a look at some of these captions. But surely the captions for news reporting should be highlights of the things that they've said. I mean, I've had the news on, I've had BBC News, I'm not at home, obviously, I don't pay the licence fee, but at work or in the pub or whatever, and that, like, when there's a speech or something from some high-level politician or something, they put little captions up, little highlights of things that they've said. They don't change the wording. That's not news reporting, is it? That is being very biased. Yeah, welcome to the BBC. There was already a row over the debate because the Commons Chamber's benches were almost completely empty for its duration. I find that unbelievable. Only Mr Bridgen and a few former Tory colleagues attended, as well as the Minister replying, although public interest was highlighted by the fact that around 150 people packed into the gallery. Yeah, but it's the gallery. Where are the people that are supposed to work there? A source at the Reclaim Party has told the Express that the plan now is to sue the BBC after getting an apology. The coverage was compared to statements the BBC has made regarding impartiality in its controversial coverage of that thing there. So yeah, the boss at the BBC, good old Tim Davies, always coming out and saying there's no bias at the BBC. We're working really hard to eradicate any biases the BBC has politically. And then one person sitting there who's got to come up with the little quotes for the news captions for the coverage can type whatever they want. How can you control that? You can't sack them all, can you? Welcome to the BBC. Welcome to the BBC. It's inherent in them. I've said it a million times that the only way to fix the BBC is to shut it down and start again from scratch. I can't see any other way. What do you think about this? Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. And while you're down there, press all the buttons and all of that. And hopefully if you do that, I'll get to see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da!